Rose, psychic investigator. I'm Rose, psychic investigator. Rose, psychic investigator. Rose, psychic investigator. Rose, psychic investigator. Rose, psychic investigator.
Hello, everybody, welcome. Rosa Psych Investigator, hello. Everybody, welcome. Rosa Psych Investigator. Okay, guys, so, alright. So I'm actually a little nervous because I'm doing that series about the Mueller report, okay? So today I'm doing this question and I wrote here, okay, after, if you read the report at the very beginning, for about 20 pages or so, it discusses the extent of the Russia meddling in the elections, how they went into all these separate systems, and the extent and how they hacked so many people. And it's obvious that it's a very serious attack. It's not a one-time thing or one thing. Okay, it's very serious. So when you read that, guys, you know, it's very, like, you can't look away. It's obvious that it's an attack regardless of whether Trump and the Republicans were, you know, conspired with them, you know, whether they gave them information, I don't know. But anyway, so that's undeniable. And then just reading that part, guys, honestly, um, the first thing that comes to my mind, and I think to the minds of many people, is that this election was so severely meddled with that it should be annulled. Okay, and this is, like I was saying, even before you consider, right, before you consider whether Trump collaborated with them or not. So you know, so basically that's very serious. So the main question, you know, and I've asked Valerie about this before. Will this, okay, so I'm going to read here how I wrote it. Will this ever be recognized as an actual attack, in which case Russia will be an official enemy and treason recognized as such? Given all this information, will the USA election of Trump be nullified? Regardless of whether he helped them or not, it's obvious from what is written on the Mueller report that they have meddled extensively. What is going to happen with this knowledge? It's obvious that this election is too rotten to be valid. Will this ever be challenged, and if so, how? So you see what I'm saying? That is the core question. Okay. I mean, I think there's two questions here: whether Russia will be officially recognized as an enemy, and in which case, helping the enemy is treason. But the main question, let me just see here: given the extent of the attacks, what are the chances that the Trump election will be nullified? Okay. So, because guys, honestly, even though I've seen it over and over again, it's hard to believe that we're going to move in that direction, considering where we are today. Okay, but let's see, because that's the one thing that I saw that would then as you saw, I had the list yesterday of all the questions. On Friday, I'm going to do the question about the judges in the Supreme Court, because if I feel, guys, that over and over again, it showed that those people, if it does happen, then, you know, don't you think it's very interesting? Very interesting. So let's see. And this is what, okay, guys, you know what? Let's see here. Let's see. This is the thing. I want to also skip to two different dates. So end of December 2019, end of December 2020. Okay. Because, and then 20 is like, yeah. Because I don't know how long, right? How long it is I don't know. Who knows, right? Who knows? In some ways, my logic mind tells me it's hard to believe this is going to happen unless we have a completely new government, new president, new Congress, new everything. But let's see how this is, if it's going to happen, and if so, how. You know, I might actually use more cards, because the cards will then give us an answer, a more complete answer, more in-depth time. You know what I mean? Time frames. So let's see. The last is 21, 2019. Okay, so 21. Okay. Okay. So All right, let's get started here. Okay, so let's look at it that way. Okay. Okay, so the other thing I think I'm going to do is, let's see here. One time. So let's see, instead of doing the different types of cards, I'm going to do like, how to say this? Let's see, Leah. Yeah, I'm going to do like the columns at once. Okay, so that would be kind of interesting. So let's see. So this is the past situation. Upside down, the world. This is, you know, how I get the card. For you, it's the world upside down. The context, right? So, and then remembering the question, will the Trump election, will this be considered an attack, and will the Trump election be nullified? Okay. Okay, so then the world upside down, the dog, meaning the loyalist or the friend, grief and adversity. And then this, okay, and I'm like, I have a shuffling of the chrome, you know, I shuffle. Sometime I take, oh my God, let's see, it fell, so it must be important. One sec, let's see what it is. Oh, work, that's right. The loyalist worked, makes sense. Okay. Yeah, this is a gift, quid pro quo upside down. Yeah, this is revelation of an enemy. Okay. So that's right. So in the this is would be the past count, the world upside down, right? There's something foreign, in other words, foreign also. Then we have the loyalists. Then we have created grief and adversity in work. This is important because this is the quid pro quo. They word for quid pro quo, and then this. But the enemy. This is the enemy exposed here. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. Just change the location here. You see, so that's that now. Let's say this is now present. Okay. This is King of Cups, the letter. Mm, Sad news. I would think this is probably about the report where you're receiving this information or sad. Yeah, this is exactly the man, the court. This is usually this card has to do with the Justice Department, right? This is the court man. That's right, the letter, the court. So, okay, yeah, this is negative surprise, right? So that's a negative surprise, we know that. And then Giovanni Ventura. So that's, now this card, guys, sometimes relates to women, sometimes relates to inexperience, okay? Naivete and experience, okay? So, okay, so then let's say move forward towards the end of this year. Okay, so this is the burden. The end of 2019, guilty. Work again, guys. This is the card of the work that was done, right? This is the business deal. And then, yeah, again, this is the same card as this one. This is the theft, and this is the enemy, but it's very similar, right? This is the appearances. Okay, so again, quid pro quo, upside down, so debt, right? The gift, then an ending. Woman, a lot of money. The giocatori, that's right, the group of people connected to this. The White House upside down. The revelation. Yeah, this is very, there seems to be a theme here where there's a revelation of theft and all those things. Okay, a lot of money, there's money exposed. Expectation to cooperation, double weakness, and melancholy. So guys, it's interesting because these cards paint to me the situation that there is a clear quid pro quo and there's guilt here. That this election, that they did this for the money, right? I mean, Trump did it for the money and he owed the money. He owed them something. And at the same time, this was something that was granted, the sense of a gift, right? This is the gift upside down here, on other places. This is the exposure to something illegal. So there's a lot of people involved in this. And that's that. Okay. So, but I still, guys, I feel like this is literally on the table. We know this is the whole scheme is exposed as it being something that they made money from, and they was done on their behalf. Like, right, that the Russians were obviously they were working, they had their own interests in making it happen, but also that that they did it to help Trump. So this is not undeniable coming out, all this stuff coming together. So everything exposed first. So, okay, guys, this is okay. So becomes public. Now, is there some sort of things that does something happen that makes it, you know what I mean? Like that makes, because I saw the whole, this is the spread before was basically explain the whole thing, shows the story and how it happened, and they have evidence and all those things. Now, what is done about that? This is, maybe this should be the question. Is there anything done about that? Okay, so given that there's more to come about this and we're going to find out more information, what is done about it? Does, this is like, what happens? Will the Trump presidency be annulled and everything he's done? Basically, that's the question. That's what I want to know. Okay, the White House upside down. So you know what I mean? So it's like, does this mean that everything he does, judgment? Okay, will anything be done about this? Okay, the money, resources, yeah, painful ending. Wait, sorry. Causing to leave. So that's what I want to know. Now, what happens with this knowledge that there was, what is done about it? Okay, older man, secret, becomes news about the government, influence the. Okay, so this is and in Lenormand, guys, which is kind of like the method I tend to use to read all the cards pretty much. You can do it like this. So the main thing is this: something becomes public, okay, and this is the secret related to the government and also the foreign influence in Trump and in the government. Okay. Okay. So then causing him to leave, which is not surprising, for us, but this is the letter. This is, guys, very much the emails, right? Essentially stealing the emails, the White House, and also hacking, the gambling, a lot of money involved. Then this would be the Justice Department. Okay, this is the good lady. Usually the Russia stuff. Another woman, a Mueller here. Okay, one more. Yeah, the money stuff. Okay, so all right, and then let's see. Okay, deal, successful deal with the foreign power. Ideas, right? Adopting their ideas. Man here. Okay, sad news. Which Dama? Court. Okay, so what is, does this become treason? Okay, this is a Jared. I think this could be Jared or wait, no, like this. Okay, so loss, enemy. Yeah, success upside down. So yeah, so domestico, damante. Yeah, this is smoking gun evidence. Okay. Tasking, carried out the tasks for money. And okay, so guys, you know what? I feel like indeed what this shows is that the Trump government ends because, and you know from Trump's actions even now that he knows that there's criminal activity here. Okay, so the people who there's people who carried out the smoking, there's smoking gun evidence. They did the tasks because there's a lot of money, but this ends up this leads to an end essentially, and this is a success upside down. So whatever they succeeded, it was fake. And here's the court turning everything upside down, ending everything. Okay, and the ship making somebody leave. Okay, or somebody leaving in the situation. So there is a determination that the success was wrong. Okay, now the guys, there's a lot of detail here. The secret of the White House, the connection to the foreign power, and the smoking gun evidence. There's a lot of money, and the money is exchanged for the ideas, right? So in a way, they're adopting the platform from the other place, the other country. There's a painful ending to the government because everything comes out, okay, essentially. Now, the cards are not specific about, this is the thing, guys. It shows that doesn't even actually show Trump, but the government itself, the administration, and somebody leaving. So he has to leave because this whole thing comes out, and it's obvious what it is. It looks extremely obvious from every angle. Now, what I want to know, though, okay, how will the court nullify? This is what I think is very challenging to me here, guys. Very difficult. I think what it suggests in a way, it's kind of the pattern that people talk about the whole thing with impeachment, right? Is that the truth has to be revealed. Here, it shows that the truth is revealed, and it's obvious that there was payments. The payments part we haven't seen yet because I think it's traveling through the court. So this is okay. So I now need the So what happens? How does this evidence of payments come about? There are documents that are arriving from abroad. I feel like the Russian defector or something. Also, the German bank, Deutsche Bank. There's a lot that connects, and it's like showing this train, like kind of all this stuff coming together from different countries. There's Eric Prince. There is the guy, Dmitry, the guy who was the banker of VEB Bank. Is that right? I think it's called. When they trace the money, they connect the payments. Okay, now that's part one. Now, this is what I would like to know. I understand this comes out. I understand this is the truth. However, how will it get to the point where this is nullified? Because that is really the question. How will this be nullified? How? If so, when and how? I know these are very difficult questions, okay, when and how, but because my main question is about the legal, all the stuff they've done, okay? Because if you say, okay, this is sort of like, for example, if your team cheated to win, you can't, everything, you have to return the prize, if it's sport, for example, right? If there's cheating involved, like the medal people who, the runners who cheat of the same thing, you can't, that's, okay, so what is voting totals machines? Yeah, there's guys, who I see being very involved is is Roberts, okay? And I'm getting here that he turns coat, like turns coat, turn coat. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like he knows a lot more than he's telling, and he decides to take this whole. They have to take it down. Oh my God, guys, it's like it can't be this. There is some sort of discussion in the Supreme Court, but honestly, I don't think there is too much of a discussion. It's not like right now where they're trying to push back. There is a sense that it's not, the evidence is too obvious. It cannot be denied. Okay, so how does this happen? And does this happen? Tell me the progression of how Trump leaves and then the whole thing being nullified. So Trump does not, he knows his impeachment, or he has to leave somehow. He's very scared because it's almost like he looks out and he sees a fire. You know, he knows if he goes out in the world, he's screwed. So he is going to try to be in the White House, even though he shouldn't be in the White House. So he's basically evicted from White House. You have to go, bitch. You have to go. And he's, you know, like I said, he's done. He's gone too far. He tries to help. He thinks that the only, you know, guys, sadly, he thinks that Putin is going to help him get out of the White House or get out of the situation. So he does something to benefit, but that's what I was telling you before. Now, having said that, how do we get from that to canvassing everything? It just, I do think they come to the conclusion. I don't know who is they. You know, like I said, guys, this is difficult. I see Roberts here. They come to the conclusion that it's not a really legitimate government. And there is going to be much more information about the back channels and all those things. There's a lot of counterintelligence investigations going on. So 2.5 years. 2.5 years. Let's say 2.5 years. That's what, September 1921. That would be probably around August or September 21. Okay, so what I'm saying is like, is that, for example, the judges that were appointed by Trump, I think they will not stay that much longer. Okay, but like I said, guys, you know, it is hard to believe, considering where we are today, that we're going to come to a consensus that will let these people, that will cancel everything that was done. But I feel like what it suggests here is that there is so much more coming that is more damaging, and future actions by Trump that will make the whole thing, okay, nullified. And I see, you know who I also see? I see Adam Schiff arguing for this, and others. Okay, I just feel like there's going to be, I've said this before in other actually private readings, but about the sort of renaissance of the law after the Trump presidency, because you have a lot has to be written and rewritten. But okay, how can we understand this? What's coming? It's really, as you were saying yesterday, the issue of the dead bodies. There's all these dead bodies strewn everywhere. In other words, there's a lot of evidence of illegality. So what happens is it just can't be denied, you know? So, so once they were trying to look the other way, there's some, you know, I don't necessarily believe that, but they're saying there's some principled conservative people who wanted to look the other way, even though they've known this sort of has happened for a long time in a different form. Okay, but they have to acknowledge. And there's, I'd say there's right now, there are some conversations in hush hush, you know, the privately, they have to start to accept that this happens. They have to start to move to do something about it, even if they're mean, because guys, it's not even about their career. It's about what is, you know, it's going to get worse. I still think it's going to get worse. I think Trump is going to do something very bad, even worse. And that is what is ultimately going to bring him out of the White House. You know, he's going to be pushed out because he's a criminal, right? So, I mean, hello. Yeah. So, wow, isn't that crazy? So that's the thing. But I don't think, okay, will the new president be there? You know, guys, it's St. Truth Commission. And in South America, when they had a lot of like the military dictatorships, they had this thing called Truth Commission in some countries. Okay, not all of them, but to discuss people who are killed and tortured by the government or whatever, like what to do and what is the truth. What is the truth? So it looks like there's going to be some sort of Truth Commission here about this whole thing with Trump, and it's going to start. You know, towards the, there's so much to happen, guys, when you think about it. If indeed Trump leaves, which I think he will, way before the next elections, then there's a big, you know, there's already, we are seeing these investigations. Okay, so they're going to continue into way far into the new government, the new president, and they're going to come. And I think by the time, guys, by the time this whole thing happens, it is not going to be anything abrupt. It's going to be after all the facts are revealed. Okay, so it's going, at the time that it happens, even though it sounds really shocking to us now, by the time they come to this conclusion, there is going to be so much factual evidence, and things will have gotten so much worse related to Trump that yeah, that it's just it's going to be undeniable. I don't feel like, I don't see any resist. I'm not like now where we have this fight because Trump is very scared of it for his life, really. So, okay. So that's what it looks like to me. It's a progression. It's a progression. But I think here, if I look forward, it's like after 2021 when the annihilation, the presidency is annulled. Okay, if if it is, which I think it will, because like I said, it's how long it's going to take for all the stuff to come out and all those, what I mean. It's going to be interesting to see, and I hope we'll see it, because it's ridiculous. This whole thing is a joke, right? What's happening? So, entonces tengo que poner house. Okay, all right.